class holes. So, YouTube, yay. I know a lot of you wanted me to stream, obviously, and talk about PAX East. Yay, PAX East, really exciting. It was super fun, I'm not hating. But the kind of PAX East talk I wanted to do with you guys was different in that I wanted to talk about things relating to PAX that I don't really think was great in like a live format on Twitch, mostly because I was afraid it would make me super emotional. Like, I'm already twitchy, I'm playing with drawers in front of me because it makes me anxious, which is kind of the theme of today's video. Anxiety in public. So obviously you guys know I'm kind of in a weird life transition right now, so streaming is really hard for me. Streaming consistently is really hard for me, which also gives me anxiety, which is awesome. Anxiety is so much fun to deal with. It's not. It's like you're drowning from the inside and everyone around you can breathe and you're like, why can't I breathe air? Like, I used to be able to breathe air, but for some reason now at a certain portion of my life, I can't breathe air and everyone around me can breathe air. Like, what the fuck? Is this the fucking zombie apocalypse and I'm the first to go? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Anxiety is the weirdest thing in the world. YouTube is a little easier for me to do because I can record it in areas where I don't have reception. My parents' house, they don't have internet, so I can't stream here, it's impossible, but I can upload videos, and so I thought, whatever, what the fuck, let's try this. I'm sitting on the ground. It's my parents' white couch no one's allowed to sit on. That's a quilt I made, yay. So I'm sitting on the ground filming this video for you guys about PAX. So the video isn't really about PAX per se. What I want this video to be about is how I dealt with it. My whole life, kind of before college, I was I mean, you guys, I'm chill. I'm like the chillest person in the world. Like, you can come kick me in the shin and I'd probably give you a high five and be like, dude, good aim. But when I was in high school, middle school, as a child, I was like hella laid back. Like, nothing affected me. I was like, fuck it, we got in a car wreck, ha ha ha, like, that's fun. Who the fuck cares? Like, nothing affected me. And then in college, I started to develop test anxiety. I ended up finding out I am ADD, OCD, all these crazy things that I just didn't know about in my childhood. But I grew up in a really, really small school. Like, my graduating class was like 60 people, maybe, like 58 people, I think. And so in a small school like that, you get special attention in class. And so it wasn't hard for me. Whereas if I was in a really, really big school in a big city, they would have just said, you're stupid, like, you get bad grades just because you're bad grades, you don't put in effort. Whereas I did put in effort, I just learned a lot differently than other people. And in a smaller school, I was catered to because of that. So I did really well in school, but when I went to college, I went to a big state university, and I noticed that I would study and study and study and study and study and study. Like, literally, I'd go to the fucking library when it opened in the morning, and I would be there until they were kicking me out at night, consistently studying. Math was a big thing for me. I'm actually pretty good at math, and I actually kind of enjoy math, but for some reason I get massive test anxiety. And so I finally went to a counselor, and she was like, I went to the school counselor, which is free, talked to her for maybe 5 minutes, and she goes, you need to go see a professional. And I was like, all right, like, what's wrong with me? Like, I really had no idea what was going on. So I went and saw a professional, and I took some tests and whatever, and they were like, you are ADD and OCD, and you need to learn, you learn differently than everybody else. But I didn't know, because I grew up in such a sheltered, tiny community where, I mean, if you didn't do well, your teacher held you after class and said, let's work on this. Like, let's get you better at this. Not, oh, that sucks, you're a number. Like, all my teachers to this day know my first and last name, and they're my friend on Facebook, and like, small schools are really great for that. But what sucked about it is it did not prepare me for the real world, where in the real world, no one is going to cater to your special way of learning at all. You have to figure it out on your own. I failed a lot of classes in college before I got there. But anyways, long story short, basically the point I'm getting to is I never had anxiety till I went to college. And the test anxiety kind of triggered it, and it has developed into something much bigger and more horrific and horrible, and it affects my life in really horrific ways. It makes me deeply and sincerely insecure. It makes it so I don't really enjoy myself a lot of the time because, as opposed to looking out, I have really irrational fears. Like, if I don't do well at blank, no one's gonna like me, everyone's gonna hate me, my family's gonna stop talking to me, might as well just fucking hang up and do not pass go, do not collect $200. Like, it's really weird. Anxiety works really, really weirdly in that way. I know it's really hard for you guys to see that because you guys see me in Twitch, the Twitchiverse, and the YouTube universe, where I am a really outgoing and loud and outspoken person, which in person, as those of you who met me at PAX and hung out with me, I am that way. I say whatever the fuck I want, I say it whenever the fuck I want, and I don't have a filter. but I do have a level of social anxiety that I have learned to adapt to since college. And I've learned to kind of cover up so people don't see it, because I don't like people to see it. People who are close to me, however, and get to know me, they do see it instantly. They know exactly what's going on. They'll be like, hey, Kate, you need a break? And I'm like, yeah, I need a break. Thank you for realizing I need a break. Because I'll never ask for a break. That's part of anxiety. You never tell anyone what's going on. You internalize everything, every emotion, whether it's good or bad, you internalize it. You don't express anything. And a lot of people interpret that as sarcasm or as cynicism or whatever. Like, some people are like, oh, you're just a pessimist, because I don't express my positive opinions, but I also don't express my negative ones. Like, I internalize everything. I didn't really grow up knowing how to deal with emotions like that, because growing up, like, I just thought I was like everybody else, because I grew up in a really, really small school system where they just helped me. I got good grades, I got into a really nice college, whatever, like, life was really normal until that, and so it triggered anxiety. But what sucks is I thought when I graduated college and stopped going to school that the anxiety would end. And it didn't. What happens with anxiety essentially is anxiety is caused by a stress hormone in your body called cortisol. One way that anxiety is chemically induced in your body is a stress hormone called cortisol. And cortisol is excreted by your adrenal glands on top of your kidneys. So you've got two little kidneys that are like down here under your ribs. And on top of them is this like puffy white stuff. And that is your adrenal glands. And your adrenal glands excrete cortisol, which is a hormone. And it's meant for good things. Like, cortisol, it controls your fight or flight. So say a bear is chasing you in the woods, your adrenal glands pump you full of cortisol, and fucking suddenly you can run 10 miles an hour. Like, you can fucking bust it through those woods. Cortisol is a good hormone, theoretically. What is wrong with people with anxiety disorders or stress disorders is that our body excretes cortisol for ridiculous reasons. Like, I didn't get an A on a test. Better excrete all the cortisol in the world because my body wants me to run away from that test. My body thinks fight or flight, let's flight school or whatever. And then what happens is, because it's not a real flight or flight, like if you're running from a bear, like, 200 years ago when people actually had to run from a bear, like, I don't know when the fuck you had to run from a bear, but if you had to run from a bear and your body, like, pumped you full of cortisol, it would give you the power to get the fuck away from that bear as fast as possible, and your body would burn through that hormone, so when you were away from the bear, or when the bear ate you, like, depending on how good and athletic you are, once you got away, you had burned through that cortisol and it was gone. It was no longer in your system, so you no longer had fight or flight. The problem with people with anxiety disorders is that it never burns away. It's excreted at the wrong time. It's excreted while I'm in class. It is present when I'm trying to go to sleep at nighttime. Just because one little thought pops into my head about something ridiculous, like, did I lock my car doors? Or, something stupid, like, do I need to get gas in the morning? And all of a sudden, my heart will start to beat really fast, and I will feel it in my throat. And that is the cortisol pumping your body up for fight or flight. But you're fucking in bed, ready to go to sleep, pumped full of melatonin, ready to pass out. Like, this is not the time. This is not the time for the body to need to run. It doesn't make any sense. So that's kind of anxiety in a nutshell. That's, obviously there's a lot more to it. Everybody's anxiety is different. No two anxieties are the same. You can't look at someone else with anxiety and go, oh yeah, that's totally what like, you can be similar, but no two people are the same. No two triggers are the same. So back to PAX, I've always loved crowds. Like, I loved going to carnivals when I was younger. I love going to Disneyland. I've been to Disneyland my whole life. I love going to public places. Like, I don't love them because of the crowd, but the crowd has never affected me. Like, I didn't go somewhere and suddenly, like, get really anxious and need to leave, ever. I've just been like, fuck crowds. I'm gonna fucking pummel through them because I'm a 6-foot woman and I can. And I do. Because get the fuck out of my way. I gotta get on the Peter Pan ride immediately. And you, motherfucking 5-year-old, need to go that way. That's just kind of been how I have always treated situations in my life. And so going to PAX East, it's my first convention ever, by the way. Hallelujah, I finally get to go to a convention, and it's a gaming convention, which is awesome because I like gaming. I was not prepared. I was 100% not prepared for how shitty I was going to feel. And for someone who does not have an anxiety disorder like I do, it's really, really hard for you to even comprehend that. But I felt the need to make this video because I know that gamers and streamers and people who enjoy being solitary will understand where I'm coming from. The anxiety is not like a, oh, I'm going into PAX and now it's busy and there's people everywhere and I need to get the fuck out. I'm going to start crying and shaking and freak out and vomit and whatever. That is not how my anxiety works. My anxiety is, oh, we're at PAX. I'm really excited. I go through the line. I get in. Look at all the cool stuff I'm going to see. Get down there. And the second I went down the escalator and was in the crowd, that's when it would start. And I'd be fine. It's not a conscious, like, I need to run feeling. It's not a conscious emotion, so to speak. It is completely subconscious in that I had my nails painted before I went to PAX with fucking lacquer. That shit doesn't come off. It's supposed to stay on for 2 weeks, and I chiseled it all off. Look at my fingernails. Like, they're destroyed. This is what my anxiety does because I don't know how to tell people about it. You guys can see I have beautiful fingernails normally, but I would sit there and I just start to pick, and that's just how my anxiety starts. When I first get there, I'm talkative, I'm open, I'm excited, I'm hanging out with friends, I'm yelling at everybody, having a really good time. 20 minutes in, I'm silent. And I don't notice it. It's the people around me that notice it. It's the people who I'm with who notice it. I'm going to have tips and tricks on how to kind of overcome some of this stuff, but I'm just kind of telling you guys my experience. I get very, very quiet. I tend to cling to one person, and I don't care what we're doing anymore. Do you want to go over there? I don't care. Do you want to go over there? I don't really care. I'll do anything. Do you want to get something to eat? I don't care. I have no opinion, and you guys know me. I have a fucking opinion about everything. Yeah, I want to eat. I'm fucking starving. Or I need some coffee immediately. I didn't want any more coffee because caffeine accentuates the anxiety. It's horrific. So if you wake up with anxiety in the morning and you're a person like me from the Pacific Northwest whose blood fucking pumps caffeine, it's horrific because you want your glass of coffee, but you know that that cup of coffee is going to send you over the roof. Anxiety can make you sweaty. It will make you instantly hot. And if anybody knows me, I am cold. I run cold. My body temperature is between 95 and 96 all the time. That's just what my body temperature is, where a normal person is 98.6. I just run cold. That's who I am. And I would start to get sweaty and feel really, really uncomfortable. And this was Boston in April, mind you. It's not warm. So that's kind of how it affects me. And then I'd have to leave. I'd have to leave the convention a couple times a day. Out of panic. I had not planned to leave the convention a couple times a day. It was quite literally because I could not stand to be there anymore. It hurt me physically and emotionally to even be around that many people, which breaks my soul because I didn't get to meet a lot of the people I wanted to meet at PAX, but I didn't want them to see me that way. Adept at hiding the anxiety and kind of masking it by different emotions, anger, or I'm just hangry, or I'm sleepy, or whatever. Like, I've become very, very good at kind of hiding that kind of thing. But sometimes you can't. And if people are around you who know you differently, then they look at you and they know something's up. Like, you can't hide it all the way. So, in a nutshell, that's how Katie's anxiety works. Now I'm going to tell you guys, PAX was fucking amazing. Don't let your anxiety keep you from going to something like this. You are literally packed in a room. As much as I hated it, you're packed in a room with people who are just like you. They're nerds. They like video games, and they like card games, and they like sitting around drinking Mountain Dew and eating chips and having fun. They won't make you feel bad about what you like and what you don't like. They don't guilt you for anything. There's no shaming people for who they are. That being said, if you go, at PAX East at least, you go downstairs and there's the huge showroom. It's like a football field of video games and board games and card games and whatever else. Cosplaying, which was pretty cool. Although some girls just fucking want to wear underwear in public. Like, excuse me, girl, put some effort in. I know those Victoria's Secret underwear, you did nothing. Anyways. Then if you went to the sides of the convention center, you could take escalators up or stairs up. And there was rooms where different like conferences were going on, and there was a vintage video game area that was going on, and there was, all these different cool areas that you could go into and play like old console games, old PC games, old arcade games. I went in there and I whooped up on my friend Beer Bong Ginny in Mortal Kombat 10. No big deal. That was day one before anxiety had kicked in for me. There was a lot of really, really cool stuff to see. And then you could go up another level, and there was bigger conference rooms. And then I think there was another level, and that's where the huge room was, where like Omegathon and stuff happens. I don't remember. Anxiety is really weird that way. You kind of start to black out certain parts. So that's why I wanted to make this video as soon as I got back from PAX, so I don't forget what happened. But as I was saying, PAX is amazing. You can do anything there. I'm a video gamer, hardcore. You guys know that. Skyrim is my life. I PC game really hard. I also PlayStation 4 game, and I used to Xbox 360. But I spent a lot of time in board games and card games. Board games and card games were so much fun. I got a bunch of Magic cards. Like, it was really cool. It was a really, really fun time over there. And it tended to be more quiet on that side, which I liked. Less packed. There weren't just, like, lines of people waiting to play video games everywhere, which, that sucks, by the way. If I was to try to alter anything about PAX, like, I did not get to play one new video game coming out. Because I'm not willing to stand in line for 4 hours. When I can just wait and fucking try it on Steam. Like, I'm not willing to wait 4 hours. So that was kind of a bummer, because I really, really, really wanted to try some new games to come back and tell you guys about them. However, I did not get to try any, because I'm not going to fucking wait in a 4-hour line. And then I went past the Outlast booth, and they had this huge pillar, and it fucking fell, and it sounded like a bomb went off and almost killed somebody. So that was really scary. But Outlast, I kind of wanted to see it really bad, because you guys know I love horror games, but again, I'm not going to wait in line for 4 hours to try a game, or not even try a game, just like walk into a room and be scared a little bit. Like, not what I'm going to do. So anyways, PAX is fucking incredible. I encourage anyone to go, but I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to survive it if you are like me and you got some anxiety issues, because let me tell you, if fucking, like, I didn't get to go, I had plans to go to every single Megathon. I couldn't, because by the end of the day, I was so anxious, I was on the verge of tears, and I had to go crawl inside of my room, or drink myself to death, just to, like, deal with the emotions, which is fucking crazy, because anxiety, you can't get rid of it. Once it's triggered, you're done. You just gotta wait it out. It's horrible. There's nothing you can do about anxiety. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not gonna take drugs, like, ever to solve something like that. I know that once anxiety happens, I just have to give it time, and it will go away. Okay, tip number 1. Have someone with you who doesn't have anxiety, but understands it and respects your boundaries. That is huge. You need to have somebody, and I had put in the list, you need to have somebody who knows PAX. They don't necessarily need to know PAX. I wouldn't necessarily say that you need to know everything about PAX. I do, however, think that you need to have someone with you who respects your anxiety and understands when it's going to happen. They can kind of see it in you. Like, I started picking my nails off. I don't do that normally. Like, that's an anxious thing for me. Or I get quiet. You guys know, I don't fucking get quiet unless it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm ready to pass out. You're so stupid. Making videos is stupid. I need a mic. Next piece of advice I would have for you guys is have a fucking backpack full of stuff. One of the best ways to take your mind off of a crowd or whatever in general is, what is happening? Fuck. It's like I have a receding hairline. We could just do the mermaid. Do the Ariel. What does she do? She does this shit. Anyways, you should have a backpack full of stuff that will calm you the fuck down. We carried, like, snacks and water and Magic cards to play Magic if we wanted to, and at one point we were carrying At one point we were carrying, like, a board game just in case, just to, like, have time to sit. The only thing that sucked for me is that my anxiety is triggered by crowds, and the only places you could go sit to play a board game or something was in massive crowds, so that was not going to help me at all. Excuse me, my nose itches really bad. One of the things I did while I was there, I'm pretty sure I spent more money in Blix on art supplies than I did at PAX, which is crazy. But we went and got art supplies, which I brought to show you guys, because, you know, fucking, obviously, I'm a nerd, and what the fuck is going on? Excuse me. Anyways, I got some new art supplies, which is really, these guys are fucking sexual. These are These are Copic, like, fine multi-liner, fine line pens, but they're steel, and they're so fucking sexual, and they're refillable. This one's not steel, obviously. This is a sepia one, but they're steel and they're beautiful. And so what we would do is we would go back to the room and like sketch on these cute little cards. I did like that sketch, and I did a couple others, and whatever. I brought my like little sketchbook, and I tested stuff. Anyways, that's what I did to keep calm. Art keeps me calm. Drawing keeps me calm. Stuff like that makes me feel really good and relaxed. And so that is one thing. Bring a backpack with shit in it to help you calm the fuck down. Whether that's, you know, I don't know, whatever calms you down. Your teddy bear or a blanket or something that smells like your mom. Like, whatever. Some panties. Probably not your mom's panties. That'd be weird. Don't carry your mom's panties. But anything else, like, fuck it, right? Fuck it! Next piece of advice. Take a fucking break. Every couple of hours before you start to feel overwhelmed, get the fuck off the property and go take a break. I've never been to PAX West or PAX Prime, the one in Seattle, but I've heard PAX West is better because you can actually leave. You have to leave each convention to go to the next one. Like, you have to actually walk on the streets, and you can get to your hotel a lot easier. Whereas PAX East, unless you're a millionaire or one of the exhibitors or something, you can't get a hotel nearby the convention. You're like miles and miles away. So it was really difficult for us to leave and go like have our happy place in our hotel and then come back. You had to Uber all day, and then you're spending like $30 a day on Uber, which is crazy. That's really, really important to realize that you do need to take breaks. Don't push yourself through it. Like, if you're starting to feel shitty 3 hours in, don't be like, whatever, man, I'm going to rally till whatever it is I want to see happens. Like, fuck it. Get out. Calm down, because you're not going to enjoy anything if you feel bad. Nothing's fun when you have anxiety and you feel like shit. What's the point? There is. Next piece of advice. This is a big one. As you guys know, I'm a partnered Twitch broadcaster, and there were a lot of people tweeting at me, where are you? Why aren't you at the Twitch booth? I want to see you. Come to the Twitch booth. Come to the Twitch party. You need to come to the Twitch party. Why wouldn't you come to the partnered Twitch party? Why wouldn't you go to this? Why wouldn't you go to that? Why don't you hang out with all of us? Where are you? What are you doing? PAX is yours. I need to stress that. PAX is everything you want it to be. You do not have to do anything you don't want to do. That being said, it's not that I didn't want to go meet people, or that I didn't want to sit at the Twitch booth, or that I didn't want to go to a Twitch party, but the Twitch booth was fucking packed. I mean, it was like a beehive swarm around that thing. And they had the partner lounge, sure. The group of people I came with are not partners. And so for me to go sit in a partner lounge, I'd be like, deuces, fuckers. Have fun sitting in the crowd and being miserable alone. I'm going to go sit in this tiny little lounge with a bunch of Twitch partners by myself. It didn't make any sense to me. If I saw you at Twitch or at PAX, it was awesome. Like, I said hi, we hugged. That's awesome. None of that made me anxious in any way, shape, or form. So anybody who wanted to come see me, don't ever think that that is what made me anxious. It was the fact that you couldn't move or breathe or turn around every time. I went to the PAX booth, or to the Twitch booth a couple times, but I just couldn't even breathe while I was there because it was so fucking packed with people. Just swarmed around the thing. And it didn't help that Twitch was right up against the Bethesda booth, so there was a million people up looking at the huge Bethesda thing. Oh, there's a spider web. Ew. Anyways, it didn't help that there was a bunch of people just standing around the Bethesda booth because they had the new card game that's coming out, Legends. It didn't help, so there was a huge crowd there all the time, and I'm just not gonna go stand in a crowd. Like, I can't stand it. It makes me anxious. So that being said, my piece of advice is PAX is yours, and do what you want to do. Don't let anyone dictate your time. Don't let anyone dictate what you need to be doing or what you should be doing or your responsibilities as a Twitch partner or as a, Steel Series partner or as a DX Racer partner or whatever partner you are or whatever company you're affiliated with. I mean, unless you are a straight up employee who is being hourly paid to be there, don't let anyone dictate your time. Do what you need to do. Don't feel ashamed if you need to leave. Don't feel ashamed if you can't go to a party. I don't like parties. And I know that's like a big, you're young and in your 20s. Everyone should like getting wasted with other people and strangers and like going to parties. I hate parties. I don't like bars. I never have. I don't like going into bars and being in crowds of strangers. I don't like going to parties. Like, they're not my jam. I'd much rather have a personal, like, hey, let's sit down in a group of people and play cards that I know. That's kind of what I like to do. So if people are pressuring you to go to a party but you're not feeling good because the day was too stressful or you're just anxious, don't feel ashamed in saying, hey, I'm going to go home and chill out. Like, the day is hella busy and I'm going to go home. Or if people are like, hey, come stand next to this one booth with me for 6 hours, and you don't want to because you want to go experience PAX for what it is, go fucking experience PAX for what it is. There's so much going on at PAX. It's so much more than the show floor. There's 3 other levels you can go to of different conferences and arcade rooms and whatever you want to do. There was a huge area of just pillows you could go lay in and play on your DS if you wanted to. There's a million things you can do. You're not stuck doing one thing, and don't ever let anyone dictate what you're going to do. It's your PAX. You paid for your tickets. You get to do whatever the fuck you want to do. I did whatever the fuck I wanted to do, and I had a really good time. I would definitely suggest on your first day at PAX, just take time to kind of scale the area. Go like walk by everything just so you know where everything is. That's comforting to me. I like to know the layout of a place I'm going to be in, especially if it's a giant building that had there been a fire, we all would have trampled each other and killed one another. That's kind of a terrifying concept. That's my rubber eraser I just threw. That's kind of a terrifying concept, so I like to kind of get the lay of the land, so to speak. So then later that day, and on the rest of the days I'm there, I kind of have an idea of where I'm going to go, where safe places are I can go to calm down, darker areas where I can just go sit by myself, where it's not going to be like a herd of cosplayers coming over and squatting around me. Like, that's really important to me, so I would definitely say, this is nervous energy. I'm still anxious from PAX. Stress balls are great, by the way. This is a gummy eraser, but stress balls are great if you're super, super anxious. My last piece of advice, which is actually a piece of advice that was given to me, is a way to escape in a way is to go to the panels. So like I said, there's the huge main showroom floor that's like a football field of just like swarms of people. But then if you go up the sides of the convention center, it's panels going on about ESO or about, League of Legends or the draw strip or any of the Omegathons or anything like that. There's panels going on all day long. They're quiet, they're calm. Very rarely are they packed. There were a couple like the Omegathon ones, those were usually packed, unfortunately. But most of them were not packed and were very, very empty, and it's a nice, quiet, calm area to go where you get your designated seat. No one's going to sit on you or bump you, or, well, they might. If someone tries to sit on you, you tell those motherfuckers to get the fuck up, because that's weird. But anyways, you kind of get your space, and it's a great way to calm down. You can just sit there and look at your phone, and it's quiet-ish. So I would definitely say that's a really big factor. So that kind of wraps up my video. I know this is like really winded and really long and a lot of information, but like I said, I just didn't feel like this was great in a live kind of way. Like on Twitch, like I'll still talk about PAX with you guys on Twitch next time I stream. I will be streaming either Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. I'll post it. I post Twitter. But we can still talk about PAX, but I really wanted to get across my message, which is don't be ashamed to have anxiety. Like, don't be ashamed if crowds make you anxious, especially if you're like me and everybody looks at you like you're crazy. Like, you're really outgoing and talkative and friendly and funny, and why do crowds make you anxious? Like, that's always the thing I get is, why are you anxious right now? Or why is this the area that makes you nervous? Like, fuck you. I get anxious. I get nervous. I don't know why. It's just my body, and it's how it reacts to situations like that. And that's why it's important to have someone around that understands you and respects it and respects your space, and that you need to get out sometimes. And they don't make you feel bad about it, because that's not going to make anything feel better. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to get across. Don't feel bad that you have anxiety or that you need to take a break. PAX is yours, and I encourage you all to go to a PAX. PAX is amazing. I will be going to PAX West this year as well as TwitchCon this year. They're really, really fun, but now I'm better prepared because this was my first convention. I am better prepared emotionally and physically for what I will do at the next convention I go to, and how I will manage my stress level and my anxiety level and so on and so forth, because sometimes you're just not ready, and I was not ready. But now I'm ready, and I had a really, really good time while I was there, and it was awesome, and I met a lot of amazing people. The Twitch booth was really fun. It was just too packed for me. For someone who has super high social anxiety, it was just too much for me. I don't like parties, but I hung out with a lot of Twitchers one-on-one, which was awesome. I thought that was really fun. That's more my venue. That's more my medium. I like to hang out with people that way much better. I played skee ball. That was really fun. I am really good at skee ball. Just saying. High score 290. Girl. Anyways, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs up if you want me to do more shit like this, because I can definitely do more YouTube videos. They're much more portable. I can do YouTube videos on the go on my MacBook, which is awesome. So when I'm like at PAX and stuff like that, I can make YouTube videos and upload them, as opposed to trying to stream, which is really, really difficult, especially when you're depending on internet and your internet in your hotel fucking sucks, or your parents don't have any internet at all, which also fucking sucks. So that is what I encourage all of you to do. Let me know if you want more shit like this. You guys know how we normally end things like this. Go fuck yourselves and stay classy as fuck, motherfuckers. It was good to talk to you. Bye, guys.